Yeah, so anyways, this is part 3 of the I guess I don't know how many part series this is gonna be about. Check my page, and if you specifically trying to get to where I talk about the DCS, then that will be at the end of this video. But if you gonna want the backstory, then this is part 3, and go back to 1 and 2 and get here so you can catch up. Okay. Um. So for those who this is where you're supposed to be at, all right. Um. So yeah. So like I was saying, most people, when their baby or a child, is going to be in the hospital for a while, they tend to stay at the hospital all the time. So to make it be easier on the parent and family, they just give us a wing out of the hospitals in dedication to them. So it's like a little shelter or a hotel motel situation. They feed them, wash their clothes, all that. It's really nice. And Block, he just wanted to go back to doing what he was doing. He didn't really care for the situation. He didn't care. He really didn't. And he ended up telling my sister just how much he didn't care. He said, fuck that nigga. That's what he said in reference to my nephew, my second nephew, while he was in the NICU fighting for his life. And he done sat up in the warmth of the shelter provided through, through my nephew. He said that about him. And my sister is the one who told me that. It really messed her up and it had her feeling a type of way or whatever. That's why she said something to me. But she really hate that she told me that, because I would never forget it. Um, but yeah, so he didn't want to stay up there and be up there all the time, so he would leave. And since he was leaving, she wanted to be all up his ass. And since, what I'm saying, she was going through at this point the battered woman syndrome, where I don't know, I can't speak for it because I never, I my mom and my dad, they used to fight or whatever, but that's just it. They used to fight. It used to be both of them. It wasn't one-sided. It wasn't one-sided. I didn't just witness my mom getting beat the fuck up. Never seen it. Never seen it. I'm dead serious when I tell you that. Like, no, my mama ain't gonna go for it. So, I don't know. So we didn't know that that's what she was going through and why she was fight so hard to be with him. Yet, knowing that he's just gonna do her like he does her, you know. But since he ain't stay up at the hospital, she will always leave the hospital too. So, and that was horrible. That was real messed up. So we couldn't really always be up there to see him neither, because we have to be with a parent to see them when they're in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? You know that. But so, that's all I'm saying. She began to change, and I mean drastically, drastically. And how they ended up getting put out of there because he was inside of the hospital beating on my sister. It's all been proven. That that's just what was happening. But move on. Let me stay on task. Um. Anyway, so June comes around, and that's when Tezzy was due. So he was about 3 months at that point, and his lungs, all that was developed, and he was ready to go home. He was pretty much a normal baby, only except he had a eating disorder, right? But we didn't know that at the time. Like, we didn't know that he had an eating disorder. But let me give you a quick little history on me, okay? I was in college for early childhood development, okay? Because I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. I love children, I'm great with children, and I like to teach people things. So I was going to be a kindergarten teacher, and I used to like, because the first thing you learn in early childhood development is about milestones. So I used to, like, be checking up on Tezzy and his milestones to see if see where he's at and see if he's catching up with his age group. It was really important for me to see that, to see the improvement. And I would see, because I seen a couple other people, kids who were born, early like he was. And they were all getting big and, getting fat and chubby and, just prospering, Um, but my nephew wasn't. He like, for the first about 9 months of his life, he still looked like about 3 months, like at about 3 months old. Maybe, yeah, 3 months old. For the first 9 months of his life. And the reason why, come to find out in retrospect, is because he had an eating disorder. And we noticed that. I noticed that he would throw up so much. Now I know babies, they like, puke up, yeah, they puke up. But his was like a lot, and it was frequent, because he could not digest milk. Like, I mean, not milk, but liquids. He couldn't, he couldn't hold liquids, basically. Now, he never had the surgery, the G-tube surgery, to have it, I guess, not happen like that or reduce it. And because we didn't know, and my sister, she was not up on it, she wasn't up on it. And like I said, she lived in that apartment where it was, really hard to get to her. So I'm not seeing him every day. I'm not seeing him every week. Maybe not even every month, Even when she would come around with Fatty, sometimes she wouldn't even, most times she wouldn't even have Tetsu. She would ask where he's at, and oh, he's with his dad, and he's with his other grandmom, and dot, 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 Excuse me. My stuff is, alright. My bad, y'all. But, so we didn't really get, to see, him like that. And I've never changed his diaper. I changed Fatty diaper a million times. I've never changed Tessie's diaper. You know, that's the only one, and she wasn't the one like coming up with Fatty. If he was thinking she'd be acting like that. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not her baby. Like, she like, y'all don't smell that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's not her booty to change. But about Tezzy, she always changed his diaper. So I don't know. Like, maybe she was trying to hide it from us or what. I don't know about what. I can't, speculate on that. I'm just telling what I do know. And what I do know is he was not thriving. He was really, really stiff. Like, he didn't, like, his body wasn't like, how when you hold a baby and they like, I don't know how to explain it. But you gotta steady them. He was like stiff. You ain't have to steady him, Try to make him relax, and that's what you'll be trying to do. But long story short, he ended up, because she didn't check up on it and didn't do anything about it, and he wasn't actually thriving, and because he was throwing up all of his food and his nutrients, he had gotten so little. I hadn't seen him for some months. Okay, I hadn't seen him for some months since like the summertime. Okay, and where we at in this part of the story is like December of 2014. Well, not really December. Yeah, it was December. It was, because we moved in December the 1st. So, I had moved on December 1st into a 2-bedroom or whatever. And I did that because I have nephews, and like I said, I don't have any children. I don't have any. So, like, them is my babies, So, I got toys, all type of stuff, like, to this day, still in this little house that I have right now. I have to get a second room for them, I had got I had got Fatty, like 2 weeks prior to this day that we about to talk about. And we were at at my first apartment, that I had. It was a 1-bedroom. And we had just get done moving, and Fatty, he was helping me move, and he really was helping, He's a helpful child, always have been. And we had just moved into the new place, and was getting accustomed to his room. Yeah, and his mom and Block had came, and they brought Tezzy, and, no. Before this part happened, when I was still in my original apartment, the first one. I had seen, because every time I would get my fatty, um, he would come back different. Like I send home a different child than the one that I pick up, from his house, from my sister in block. He would be so like, I don't know how to explain it, but so rough and like, like I don't know how to explain it. Like, stingy and doggish, all of that. When there's no need to be like, can't have anything. So, anyways, every time I would get him, I would, give him a cup of his tea, and he'll drink his tea. And then I give him some more because he always super thirsty when I first pick him up. And I would, just get him right. And then I put him in a bath. I clean him up. I wash his hair. And, I just make him feel like a little baby, get my little baby ready. Feed him, and change him, all that. So, anyways, I go to change him. And it's the first day that I picked him up. I go to change him, and I see these fucking webs on my baby legs, man. And, like, prior to the situation, me and my sister, like I told you, she had changed. We had gotten to it many a times because she wanted to say, like, I felt like my nephew was my son, or I wanted him to be my son, or, you know what I'm saying? That, like, I'm overstepping my boundaries, or, so we would get into it a lot, and she would be lying, like, trying to make it seem like I'm the bad one, or I'll do stuff to him, or whatever. So when I seen them whips on his legs, I hurried up and called her, like, oh, hell no, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? She like, what? These motherfucking webs on my baby legs. That's what, you know what I'm saying? No, before I even called, no, I called her first. Yep, I did. I sure called her first. Then I called my mama. And she tells me that happened because, like I told you, she always be lying. She said her friend and her was trick-or-treating with the kids, and they had walked through some bushes with some twigs or something, and their legs got scratched up or something like that. I'm not no fucking ignorant person, so I'm like, girl, this or whatever. Basically, no, I ain't going for it. I call mama, whatever, and let them know. So that's what first happened. And when I first seen them webs on his legs, because before I put him down, he like was acting like he ain't want me to see it. And this hurt my heart so bad, y'all. Like, this literally hurt me so bad thinking about this, because this is the last time like shit was really normal before like stuff got really crazy. But how he was acting, it's like he knew what was going to happen, and he did not want me to see it. He did not want me to see them fucking webs on his legs. And so when I did that or whatever, and I called mom or whatever, she like, man, we just gonna have to tell Quay. We just gonna have to tell Quay that if she don't, you know what I'm saying, just give him over to mom or whatever, something like that. It's gonna have to, and stuff keep happening. We gonna have to call, CPS. Like, we gonna have to do something, because they gonna be got taken in. Well, and mama just had that conversation with her. She had just had that conversation with her and Block. And they're like, oh no, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that. No longer than like a couple days later, I get a call from work, and they tell me that, and it's from my, no, I get a message, and I pick up my phone or whatever, and I see the messages from my brother, and he told me that I need to call this number, call DCS, because they done came and they done snatched, and they done took Fatty. So my heart immediately started racing. I hurry up and I call DCS or whatever. I'm calling. It don't nobody never fucking answer their phone or call me back. And now thinking back in retrospect, I wish I would have just, I don't know, figured out a way to get from all the way from my job to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I could have did. I should have got my ass over there. Now thinking about, you know what I'm saying, back in retrospect, like, that's what I said. Like, I blame myself for shit that I didn't do, anything that I could have did that I didn't do, that I should have did better. I blame myself for what my motherfucking blame lies. I'm not here trying to act like, but I don't deserve, like, we didn't deserve this. We didn't deserve this. That's all I know. And I'm coming up on my 15 minutes again. So, to the next video.